making it, inshallah. So today we just wanted to get, I guess, an update on what's happening, but also
Yeah.
discuss the calendar
Sure,
portion
sure.
of things that I had shared a document with you, and then if there are any questions and things like that, we just wanted to clarify it, inshallah, because I
Right.
think once that is done, and then I think we'll have a good portion of the, like, inshallah, both the calendar and the scheduling both will work in tandem, in side by side. Alhamdulillah, I think that would be good. And I think lastly,
Okay, very good.
if we have time, we can also discuss the ranking, the search ranking part.
Yeah. I just said sorry for that. We can able to repeat what you just said for the agenda again.
So we will discuss, inshallah. If you can give us an update on what you're working on,
Yeah, sure.
Then
okay, I understood
we want to discuss the calendar discussion.
For
the document that I shared. Like, if you have any questions, and then thirdly, I think when the other developer joins, inshallah, we can. I think Hassan can have a discussion about some of the content stuff. Yeah, and the last part is about the ranking of the search ranking, the teacher, different strengths and weaknesses.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Yeah, I understood now. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, we'll start with the update, inshallah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Share my screen. Yeah, just give me a minute. I'm just starting the Tomcat at my local Tomcat, and also I'm sharing this. I'm going to share my screen now. Yeah, if you see my screen, let me know.
I can see it now.
Okay. Also launched my local Tomcat. It is still starting. Okay, that's okay. So we'll start with the Jira, then we'll come to the Tomcat. So basically, we were actually working on this 73. Actually, alhamdulillah, we have completed it already. The one thing is the time zone. We first actually fixed the time zone. Actually, we are using now, mentioned to you, this link on the learning zone pencil.org. So actually we took the time zone list from there, implemented that. So that we have done, which I'm going to show you to you from a look. I have not installed it yet in the CNC test.
Okay.
We are testing it with other scenarios on the time zone conversion and everything. As soon as we're done with the testing, inshallah, we will install it sometime today. Just a minute. It has stopped at null pointer exception. Remove that. Okay. 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 Oh, just a minute. Okay, let's come back. Okay, fine. So actually, as to the update, the first thing we have done, as I told you, we have. I can show it to you in a minute. And the second thing, what we have done is, let me go down on this list. Student, there is a teacher. One more thing we have implemented on that. Okay, the drop down. If you remember the drop down, you have commented that in the schedule screens, the drop down style.
Yeah.
Drop down as in the profile page. We have fixed it, and we have also done one more thing, which we want to show you to you and get your feedback, which I will show you to you shortly now.
Okay.
Nice drop down available open source called Select2. Select2. It's very famous and a lot of people are using it. It has very consistent and good look and feel. And we're going to show you both the drop down which done on the profile page and this drop down called Select2. And we want to get your feedback and how do you like it.
Is
like it, then we can
how do you spell select tube?
Sorry? Yeah, yeah, same like how you type select. Yeah, same like how you type actually. Same thing like how you select is the select actually.
Select
Select
two.
SEL. Yes, exactly.
Okay, the number 2.
Numeric 2. Numeric 2 at the end. Select. You can put that on the Google. You will get it. But I can also send you the link of that select 2.
No, I see select 2.
It looks very neat for us. Basically, better than the style you have provided us. But we will give you the choice. I think if you want us to use your style, we can do that. Or if you want us to use this select 2 also, we can use. So I'll show it to you shortly. And let me. Okay. We also implemented this. We also implemented this dependent login issue. Remember for the dependent, we are supposed to generate the user ID and password, and then add a section at the end of the review page with this dependent user ID password, which we also implemented that as well. So these are the 3 things we have implemented, and we will be installing it shortly, inshallah. And I will show you the drop down first to start with, inshallah. Let me open my browser application. Hopefully you can see my screen, right?
Yeah, it's white right now. It's just blank. It's local.
Oh, really? It's blank? You don't see the login screen?
Sorry, no, I see it now. Yep, see it.
Okay. I have this profile screen displayed to me. Drop down style, which your design team have designed it, and which is what we have implemented here on the profile page. And as an alternative to this drop down, I'm going to show you another one which we have implemented on the schedule page. So we just want you to see.
Okay.
We go continue. Here. Okay, so this drop down, just a minute, it's taking a while to bring the time slots, so let it come. Okay, this drop down, what you see here, this is the select 2 I was actually talking about. You guys can see the drop down?
Yeah.
Okay, so actually currently it is actually showing the currently selected one has been shown on blue. And if I hover back, it shows in the gray color. India, Karnataka, Bangalore is showing in gray color. But initially it shows in blue. Then when I hover back, it still keep the selected one. And then it always gives you a search screen. It always gives you a search screen where you can put some text and search like this, like Cairo, or Delhi, whatever you want to type. You can type and search. So basically, if you guys like this drop down, we can bring it everywhere. So keep the style which you have given us. We can also use that. So let us know.
So Akhi, the style we had on the other screen also allows you to type. And,
type. Of course, right. Of course.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, you're right. Of course.
Yeah. So I think with our look and feel, that probably goes a little bit better. If you can implement it.
Okay, sure. Alhamdulillah. No issue.
Because it's already
just wanted to show you an alternative.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like a standard control available on the internet. So actually we took it and implemented it. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, actually we can leave that. Yeah, we can have that drop down inshallah everywhere. No problem. No issues inshallah. Basically, what I'm listening from you is So you want us to with this one, right? And not the select to, but this one, which we have designed, right? So this is what you will prefer, right? This is the one you will prefer, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. This one also, yes, you're right. Actually, yeah. Actually, this one also we are. It is giving us. So we can also type here and search also here.
Yeah.
We can search here. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, we will have this drop down. Yeah, our developer felt little strongly to actually demo it to you and then confirm. So that is why.
Yeah. No, I don't mind it. Just like with our look and feel, because you see how we give the male and female boxes, so it kind of goes in terms of the options.
Yeah, right.
The look and feel goes the same way. That's all.
Okay, I agree. Alhamdulillah. Yes, I would agree. Inshallah. Okay, inshallah. So we will bring this drop down everywhere, inshallah. I mean, like all the places where we need to.
Yeah.
And second thing, what else I was telling you that I will show you, which is a select to, and yeah, that's all I was telling you. And for the dependent thing, I need to take a code and then build. It will take some while to show you, but it's done actually. But it's done already. That we are currently showing the dependent user ID, generated user ID at the last screen. Because I need to make a build on something, and there is one Angular component I need to make a build. So I cannot show that to you.
Okay.
So actually we have done, and we are actually working on the other things, other items, and we also did some work on the on the iPhone testing of 16S locally, and we have actually got it for rent actually for a month. We got it for rent, and we are testing with that regularly. And there are actually a couple of issues actually which we have fixed on that since my last update to you, and that also I cannot show it to you in this demo. That's all we have done on this. And actually, we are working on the other issues. Like as we speak, other they mentioned over here, we are working on them.
Okay. So in terms of the last item, I know before this you're working on the billing statement.
Yeah. Billing statement. Yes, we have completed it. Like we have stopped it at a logical point, and there are a few things pending on that. Okay, let me go over that. Let me go and show you that one. We will stand on that. Let me log out the student, log in as admin.
Ahi, just one quick comment.
Yes,
so when someone makes an account right now, fresh account,
right.
Immediately after that, we can take them to the About You section. And so you can activate that link or that connection.
Oh, okay, so fine.
They don't have to log in again or something like that, because if they just make an account, they can.
Okay, once they create the, okay, fine.
Yeah, should I put it on Jira or?
Again, sorry. Yeah, it's good. Just put one comment on the Jira. It will be better for us, so that we know that it is coming officially from you.
Okay. All right, inshallah.
Something to refer back to. Something to refer back to. If someone asks why, we can always refer back.
Okay. All right, inshallah.
Comment is better, but I'm going to. I will link that.
I will add that, inshallah.
So you told me to show what is the status on the monthly statements. Actually, I can, as you can see on the screen, on the left side we have a menu called Finance and Statements. That menu option. Then it will show me this search criteria screen. Search criteria screen will be shown to me, where we can actually search by the student ID. Sorry, tell me.
Okay, no, go ahead. So basically, what we had in mind is basically just one field in which we can, instead of having multiple fields like that. So basically, the dynamic search, right? That's what we had in mind.
Oh, okay.
The idea was, for example, it's just one field, and then we can search by name, email address, phone number.
Oh, in the same field?
In the same field, yeah.
The same field. Oh, okay. The same field will search against multiple fields in the database. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah. And then the next would be the from and to, the date. So
So basically, you want to combine the student ID, name, and email and phone. All four of them you need to combine into one field, right? That's what you're saying.
yeah. And then even for the date, right? There is a way to do it even in one field, like a time range. You know how you can select time range from one field. Let me just show you on PayPal. Just give me 1 second.
Okay.
Let's see.
Screen of search criteria. We did not get a design from you.
Yeah, so I
we
just gave the fields.
You just gave this.
I just gave the fields on
Yes,
the
you're correct. Yes,
document.
you gave us the field. So actually, we brought those fields over here. Yeah,
So
actually,
basically,
we can. Yeah, if you can able to give us a screen design for this, even if it is a hand sketch, no problem. Even if it's a hand sketch, no problem. If you can give us some screen design, inshallah, we will implement that screen design.
okay, so my thought process was because it's just 2 fields, right? There isn't really much to it. So there's just 2 fields. Let me just show you a sample, maybe so that it will make it. And I'm just logging into one of my PayPal accounts, and then I'll show you what I have in mind. So
by that time, we put some criteria, and let's see if it shows the next screen to me. Just a minute. Have some data it should show me.
So let me show you.
Yeah, tell me.
Let me just share my screen. But I think I will give thing again. But then I will give you. So here's a PayPal screen.
Hold on. Just a minute. Hold on. Just a minute. 1 minute.
Sure.
क्या बोलना नहीं yes please continue. Yeah, please. So you want me to see your screen? Basically, have you shared something?
Yeah.
I'm sharing and go there. 1 minute. Oh yeah. I can see your screen now. Okay, mashallah.
So
okay.
But anyway, so for the time range, this is something like that I had in mind. So I'm gonna just share this with you, inshallah, and then I'll take a screenshot and then I'll share this with you.
Yes, please.
And then inshallah I'll put it on the on the comment for that user story, inshallah, and then
please go ahead. Please, inshallah. Very good.
So here's another option of doing it in a shorter format, like doing like a drop down. If you want to do it, so there are 2 ways of doing it. One is just to type in here. Another one is to select, for example.
Yeah. Okay.
And then search.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Anyway, so okay, I will update it, inshallah. But go ahead. It's okay.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, very good. Yeah, actually, that's all I have update on what we have done. And actually, unless you have any questions, specific questions like you have.
I'll just put it as my backlog to provide more UI directions for the billing module.
Yeah, but the work has been done. Like actually, we have already done the PDF generation and the searching and all other things are done. So, but we have what we have not done is the Jasper. I told you about the Jasper. Remember the Jasper I told you about?
Yeah.
Jasper. We have not integrated with Jasper yet, and I think you have agreed, right? You agreed with Jasper, right? The last communication.
Yeah, Jasper is fine.
Jasper,
if you don't have to pay for anything.
Yeah.
If you don't have to pay
nothing. Yeah, inshallah. Yeah. So then, yes, we will include Jasper, inshallah. Jasper will let us do all other things, like you wanted to have like a preview of the report.
Yeah.
All that thing, it will really take care of it, inshallah. Jasper will take care of those things.
And so.
But reporting, it will. Yeah.
No, go ahead, please.
Sorry, I did not hear you.
You go ahead, Akhi. Sorry, I didn't.
Yeah. I'm fine. I'm saying basically what I was saying is what I was telling you is we will integrate with the Jasper, and inshallah in the next meetings probably we will show you the report, actually preview of the report using Jasper and how it allows us to print and download the PDF and whatnot, all that inshallah. We'll see that inshallah.
So one of the
Jasper, the good thing about the Jasper is it takes care of the paging of the report break controls and whatever, how any report writer, just like a report writer actually, it actually comes with a designer called I think iReport or iDesigner, something like that. It's called iReport. I think it comes with a designer, so we can just design the report there, and we can feed the data from the programmatically to that report, and then it will show the report on the web. Yeah, that's all. Yep. Yes, please continue. Tell me what you want.
Okay, so just two things. One is for the billing, we mentioned the specific, the statements, we mentioned the specific UI, right? So, and then that UI is part of the Medtronic theme. And then we mentioned the fields and the information that we want in it, right? So if you have any question, inshallah, you can ask me any question there, inshallah, at any time.
No question. Actually, yeah, that we already reviewed it. It looks okay to us. We just need to complete that work which we are doing. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, we had only one question on the Jasper which you already answered. Inshallah, we will integrate that and then bring it.
So about
on this one, on the demo, we just showed you that search criteria.
Yeah.
And we took your feedback, and we will see your comment on the Jira on that, and we will implement it accordingly.
Okay. Just a quick question on so when a user registers, should I go back to like LZT 57 user story, which is registration by self? To comment on there, or can I comment on it on any, like that's the relevant one?
You can do anything. Like, yeah, you can do whatever you want. There is one more thing you can do is you can also add task. You don't need to add you can even add a task actually. The Jira allows you to to add a bug or a task or user story. You add a task and refer back to that user story if you want to, like this is an addition, this is a task in addition to the LZT 57. Add a task actually to user story. You can even add a task. It might be much simpler if it is like a smaller thing which needs to be done along with a bigger thing, like along with the user story. You add it like a task, or you can open that user story, add a comment to it, and then reopen that story. That also can be done. Any way you want. We just need to organize the work, and it should be there in Jira, so we can
Okay.
We can refer back to something.
Okay, got it. Okay, done. I created a task already.
MashaAllah, very good. Beautiful. Alhamdulillah.
Okay, so now next item, inshallah, on the agenda would be to discuss the calendar topic. Now I will hand it over to you and Hussam, inshallah. Even though I've written the document, I can also explain if you need any explanation. But if you I hope you had a chance to review, and then if there are any questions, we can go through that. The only comment I would have as a general comment is the requirement that we have kind of put in terms of the functions and all those things for the calendar. They're typically the Google Calendar requirement functions, except for one or two minor changes, which is one is the availability, how Hussam suggested, the flex availability, and then the second is, I think, about for example, being able to modify, like delete more than one slot at once, like using control function. So those are the two things that I can think about, out of from the top of my head in terms of what we added. But everything else is essentially similar to Google Calendar function. And that's
Okay.
basically what we used as a guideline for us to create some of those requirements. And if you remember from before, like I always brought up Google Calendar, and so the consensus was we'd implement some of it at this stage, and then some of it would be implemented later on in terms of functions, right? Which can
Right.
still be done, no problem, inshallah, as long as you identify what we're doing now and what's going to be done later, inshallah.
Okay, alhamdulillah, no problem. Inshallah. Yeah, actually, Brother Hussam, are you going to share the screen or you want me to open it?
Either or. I can share my screen, inshallah.
Right, you can open that document or calendar document and we can go over it, inshallah.
Sounds good. Let me know when you can see it.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Can you also give me the link for this? Can you also okay, I know this. Okay, can you also just paste the link over here?
Yeah.
So it's a Google document, right? This is a Google Doc document, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's just a minute. Yeah, let me also.
Oh, I think I already sent it. Okay, nice.
Sorry?
Have you seen this document before? Or
Yeah. That's what I think. Yeah. I think sure. Just that's why I asked you the link. Yeah, I think I reviewed it once. I just wanted to make sure. Open that over here in my calendar module. Continuity repeat once ad hoc. Course perspective duration. Yeah, actually, in the last meeting, I think Brother Tanvir gave me this link, and
and I sent you an email.
Yeah, just sorry.
Yeah. I sent you an email.
Yeah,
as
okay,
well.
okay.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. I remember going through it, but not in a very detailed way. Yeah, please go ahead and then explain it. Inshallah.
Okay, inshallah. I guess I'll go over the high level stuff, and Brother Tanvir, he can probably explain the lower level details. But so I guess let's start off with courses. We were thinking about how to do scheduling, and we realized that we will have different courses, and different courses will have different requirements of scheduling, and those properties will be the properties of courses. You know, like a one-on-one intensive will always be a 1 hour course, and a drop-in would probably be a 15-minute course, or different types of courses will have different kind of schedules. So we decided that we need to have an instance called course, which will have properties. And our courses, we've defined these 3 properties over here: continuity, duration, and capacity. So continuity just defines if it's a repeating course. So like, for example, is a one-on-one is a repeating course. It happens weekly for a student. So when we schedule a one-on-one, then we need to make sure we make it repeating. Or is it a one-time course, a webinar, something that we don't have right now, but in the future we want to be able to add courses which are one-time courses, a one-time webinar, and an ad hoc basic course, which will probably be a drop-in class. Like, as a student, I want to take a class right now. I have, let's say, 2-3 hours.
Hold on, Brother Hussam. My question is actually, how come on the continuity we have once? I'm not understanding that.
What?
How come in the continuity, by definition, continuity should be continuous, right? How come it has like once also? Instances once. What does it mean by?
So continuity is just defining the type of continuity it is. Is it like one time only? It's just, if you don't like the word continuity, you can change it. We just thought, these things could be.
No, it's okay. It's okay. No, I'm fine. I just want you to understand your logic. I mean, your way of thinking, so that I understand.
No. It's just something to define the 3 different properties that we have. Like, like if you're naming a variable in the thing, like to call it like, oh, type of continuity it does have, and this is just one.
Fine. Okay. So instances of with the continuity and repeat, I understand. Continuity, repeat, yeah, it's easy to understand.
Is it a repeating? Basically, like, it's basically, if you like I said, you can change continuity. We don't have to call it. Basically, the idea is one of the properties. Is it a repeating course? Is it a only one-time course, or is it an ad hoc basis?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
You could think of ad hoc basis as a somewhat like one-time course, because you take it one, then you can have multiple of them. But anyways, so the second property of a course is the duration. so different classes have different durations, but they will all fit in perfectly fine as long as we have those 15-minute. As long as the shortest time slot is 15 minutes, and we should be good with all of these, like one more than 1 hour, less than 1 hour, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever. As long, like, we will not have like a 10-minute course or a 35-minute course. So everything is 15-minute slots. So like I think that you discussed that a long time ago. So the shortest duration is 15 minutes, and it's either going to be increments of 15. The courses will be increments of 15. And the last,
and actually, where we will define. Let me ask you just. Sorry for interrupting you. Some functional. So basically, we need to. Actually, someone needs to create these courses, right, with these properties, right?
Yes.
You already defined somewhere. I mean, is it already in this document or somewhere else you're going to talk about that?
No. So
again, could be admin or someone course admin, someone needs to log in and he needs to go to some screen to define this, right? That's my question. Is it defined in this document or somewhere else?
So it's somewhere else. I started, so basically I separated the two because we haven't gotten into that discussion yet, and that's not part of MVP. So if you'd like us to finish it, I can go ahead and finish.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Yes, we can do it whatever model we want. And we can start with this concept and we can even have that later, whatever. It's not a problem for us. We can work on any model.
Yeah, fair enough. It's just that I guess this might help you in creating the database. You know, when you.
Oh yeah, very good. Yes, please. Continue. Yeah, yes, I understand. Yeah, continue.
Again, so the last thing is, I guess, the capacity of a course. Is it a one-on-one type of webinar where anyone can join in, or is it a fixed course where university style course, you know, you can only teach 50 students or 25 students?
Right.
So, but that capacity, that gets a bit interesting, but let's talk about that later. Let's just jump into the business rules of a calendar. I think I can just read them one by one.
No, it's okay. You don't need to read one by one. You just need to explain a little bit, that's all.
Okay, so I guess the general idea is that...
Yeah, just give me a general idea of what this... Yeah, I understood these 3 types already. Alhamdulillah, I understood this.
Okay. So that basically defines the course. So let's come back to the teacher's schedule.
So basically, wait a minute. Let me ask you a question over here. So basically, when the course manager or whoever is going to define these courses, he can choose any combination, or is there any restrictions that a particular combination? You understand my question? For example, can you have the continuity, repeat, and duration, anything, and capacity, anything, or we have any certain rules that, you know, if we select this, it should, you know, is there a business rule?
You know, let's keep it open for now. But
I'm
guessing like a webinar would probably, like, if you have once, then it would probably sorry, if we select many open, it would probably be a one-time course. But you know, let's keep that open for now. Let's
fine.
allow all of it, any combination for now.
Okay, very good. Okay, very good. And actually, one more question is how this will affect the student the student in the enrollment process is going to select these courses. You see my point? Like, actually, what point we're going to, at what stage, at which point in the enrollment process we're going to pop up a screen asking him to select this one of the types, one of the courses.
The way I think Brother Tanveer envisions is that there will be multiple campaigns of how we like so for one-on-one campaign there will be a separate campaign for it, a separate, and for drop-in sessions or the other classes there'll be separate campaigns for it. Okay, try out like a 15-minute class, there'll be a separate campaign for that. The vision is that they will have made so for a new user they would have made that decision before coming to the website. So they would follow, let's say, a link which would have that already selected for them. So maybe you keep passing some variables in like the query string, and when they register the account, they are not even shown the options for the other users. Now this gets a bit tricky when a user is already registered and he wants to register for different courses. I don't think that is covered in the document, and I think we could probably talk about it later on.
Yeah, so basically,
one more question I have is it
There are two ways a user will
Yes, please.
add or subscribe to different courses. The first one, what Hussam was saying, is basically imagine people go to Tandil.org, hypothetically, and there are 3 different courses offered. From each different course, there will be like a sign-up link, for example. And then when you click on that specific sign-up link, the string and the flow of events that follow is specifically designed for that kind of course, right? And so the idea is when the admin is making a course, for example, eventually the admin can basically choose from one of the flows. So because now the types of courses, for example, with the capacities and everything is defined. And based on that, we are going to design the registration flow. Registration flow, for example, would be different for a drop-in class, for example, because the drop-in class would be someone who says, okay, I want to pay for, I'm taking a package of 5 classes in a month. So that person goes and makes the payment first. And then they come into the dashboard, and then the dashboard function that they see, that then they will be able to go in and select the course, select the times for the week or for the month, right? So it doesn't happen the same way as current registration happens, for example. However, if it's a 30-minute course, it will be similar to the current flow, for example. If it's a webinar, then it's just fixed time already, so they don't have any time selection to do. If it's one of 2 options, for example, in a university setting, let's say the same class is offered twice a week and the student can select which one, then we can offer a very simple subscription option to the student, select option to the student when they are making the registration. So each flow is going to differ, if you like, but we will keep the development to minimal. The most complicated one that we are going to have is the one that is currently being built, which is the one-to-one repeating. Okay. Everything else is going to be much more simplified, and we're not going to do much matching and this and that. Those things are not going to be there, because this will be all predetermined. The teacher will be predetermined. All of those things will be there, right? So in terms of complication, we've kind of done the most complicated thing. Only the 15-minute drop-in session, I think it might be a little bit of tweaking that we have to do, but that's
the next thing I want to know for this MVP, for this MVP.
Yeah.
In this one, in this what we are discussing, this document, what is in scope and what is not in scope? I mean, like,
so the MVP, we're doing the one-on-one, just the 1 hour one, right? That's it. Yeah.
Okay, that's all for the MVP, right? Yeah. So we don't need to the 30 minutes, 15 minutes right now for the MVP.
No,
right?
But the properties, the reason why we're discussing this is because when you're designing this the schedule and the time slots, the way that you design the properties so that they can be used by a 15-minute class as well as a 30-minute class based on what the student comes to the system with. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
sure. So actually, one more time, just I wanted to repeat and understand. So for this MVP, we are going to focus only on the continuity of repeat.
Yes.
And the duration of 1 hour only, right? Essentially, we will do.
Actually, I'm not sure about the duration of 1 hour though. I think we'll break it down to 15 minutes because, like, we.
Let me know if you want that. Let me know. Yeah.
No, we do want it broken, like, so we will want like the sessions to be created 15-minute sessions, even though we will only use 1 hour. And the class will always be only repeat. So so it's fine. Like if you don't code out the once and the ad hoc basics, but like the thing is, we would want the duration broken down to, like, when you make the database things, like 15 minute every.
Yes, it's fine. Yeah, of course, yeah.
But the student will see a full hour, right? Because that's the
he will see. That's the property of the course. Yeah,
that's the property of the course. Okay.
Yeah.
So actually, if the student wants the 15 minutes time slots. Where we are going to configure that? I mean, like, at what point we're going to configure it?
Basically, what I'm trying to say is that, so even though the course is 1 hour, but the schedule. Let's say I'm available. Let's say I'm.
Got it. On the scheduled time, somehow we need to give the flexibility of actually starting that time slot at a 15-minute interval, right? That's what it's
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even further, we need to discuss a little bit, or we need to see this document. Maybe this issue is interest. This change a little bit on how the time slots are created. Yeah, actually, let's see if this document describes it. Otherwise, I'll ask you a question later on.
Yeah, that's fine. Like I'll give you the high level thing today. You can like go over it today, inshallah, and then we can get on a meeting tomorrow too, inshallah, and then
sure. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
So, anyways, the high level idea is that enters. Sorry, where's my mouse? Here it is. Like the basics are broken down over here. It's very close to how Google Calendar works, but the idea is that, let's say a teacher, the admin puts in availability 9 to 5 Monday to Friday for a teacher. That time is open for anything. So the user can come in, although we're only doing one-on-one, but I'll give you examples for other types of courses. If a user, for the first 15 minutes or the first 30 minutes of, let's say, 9 to 9:30, he decides to take a drop-in course, then the rest of the time is open for anything else. So another user can come in and say 9 to 10:30 for a one-on-one session, and then maybe from 10:15 to 10:15 to 10:30 for an ad hoc session. So this is different from the initial idea where Tanzil had decided that we would have 9 to 11 for one-on-one classes and 11 to 1 for drop-in and 1 to 2. So now the way it works is a teacher's availability is entered in, so his time is a resource that is available, and that resource can be used for any type of course that he is registered for. So teachers are mapped what kind of courses they can provide, like a one-on-one 15 minutes. So we don't decide that this time it's open schedule, and as the user's demand, his time is going to get used. So if no one wants one-on-one drop-ins and his 8 hours get filled with one-on-one sessions, then he won't have any time for drop-ins anymore. That's basically the general idea. So this way, one advantage is that we will hopefully, inshallah, get to use the users more. Like we'll get to use their time more in a more, I guess, efficient manner. So that they don't have free time not free time, but isn't like they don't have time wasted where they're not doing anything while they could have been accepting a different kind of student or a different course that is not specified for a certain slot. Does that make sense so far?
Abdulahad, actually, I think I muted you by mistake. Can you unmute yourself?
Allah, brother, you're muted. Can you hear us?
No, I'm sorry for that. Yeah, sorry for that.
That's all right. I think actually we did it, so we're sorry about that. Does that make sense so far?
Of course. It may make sense so far.
Honestly, bro,
my question is how the student will pick between these different classes, like the drop-in and the other things they said.
So, like we were saying initially,
you know what I'm saying, right? I mean, like how we are going to show. So currently, we are showing the time slots in the 1 hour block, and we are letting the student to select one, right?
Right.
So in this new design, like how the user will see, how the student will see on the display.
So let me give you an example, Akhi. Okay, so let's say I'm doing one-on-one 1 hour classes. Okay, that's what I'm interested in. So right now I come into the system, and right now I'm going through the current flow that we have, for example, right? And the current flow is I give you my information, and then you match me with a teacher, and then based on the number of days I'm interested in taking classes and all that, and then you're showing me teacher's availability based on my requirements, and then you're showing me hourly slots. So I'm looking at that right now. Let's say I see Monday at 2 p.m. availability, for example, right?
Yeah.
Now in the meantime, Hussam is accessing the system hypothetically, okay? And Hussam goes, and then, but Hussam is only interested, so he bought a package. Imagine he bought 15-minute, 5 classes package. Okay?
Okay.
So now he goes to the system. He's like, okay, I registered to this thing. I paid for it.
Okay.
Now I want to register
Okay.
something on Monday at 2 p.m. So when Hussam goes to the Hussam seat available on Monday 2 p.m. But each of his slots comes down to 2 p.m., 2:15 p.m., 2:30 p.m., 2:45 p.m. like that.
Okay.
And then if Hussam selects 2 p.m., then there's a conflict between me and Hussam. And whoever selects first kind of gets it.
Yeah.
Right? Does that make sense?
That's right.
But we're
Yeah,
in two
makes
different
sense.
places.
Yeah.
We're not in the same place. Right? And Hussam has already paid for the system, classes. On the other hand, for me, it's just I'm still getting into the system. I'm still sick. So now imagine there is no Hussam, right? And I see but if I was not in the picture, then Hussam only sees the 15-hour slots whenever the teacher has availability. And it's a free, basically the idea is it's open for business. Anyone can sign in anything. Because even if, for example, if Hussam takes 2 o'clock to 2:15 and then all of a sudden,
Okay,
now
I think I do understand. I think I do understand now. Actually, the way I am seeing it, this what you're saying is, see, currently we are generating the teacher time slots 1 hour, next 1 hour time slots we're generating based on the indicated availability of the teacher. We should not do that now. We should not do that. We should stop doing that, and instead just leave that block of time of the teacher as it is. Whatever the block of time available the teacher has indicated, just leave it as it is, and the student is basically deciding the student based on the student selection. Then we create the time slot for the teacher. Is that right?
Well, you do need to take in the teacher.
Basically, based on student is actually dictating what the teachers' time slots are. What the actual time slots of the teachers are. Student is dictating.
Well, the thing is, the admin will put in the teacher's availability. So the student cannot choose the time slot outside of the availability. And
of course, that thing I already told you.
The student does decide when to take the course. Like he decides the teacher's course.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yes.
You know what I'm saying is, tell me you finished and then I will tell you. Yeah, tell me.
Given that the teacher is available at those times, then yes, the student decides what course the teacher will be offering.
Yeah, correct.
That's it. That's all I have to say.
What I'm saying is, if you look at our current system, what we are doing is step number 1. The admin is currently for a given teacher. The admin is creating a block of time on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, like that, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And actually, what the system is doing in turn, what the system is doing is it is generating an 1 hour time slot for the teacher. That's what currently it's doing. And this we should not do. I think we should stop doing this with this new design. With the new design, we should not create any time slots for the teacher. Just leave it, because there is no 1 hour time slots now. It's not fixed like that, right? It will be different, right?
But you still have a basic. You still have a 15-minute. Like the student cannot start a course at like 9:07. He has to start it at 9:15 or 9:30.
Yeah, I think you're not understanding what I'm saying. Tanvir,
I understand. So, however, if a student signs up saying from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., then the system will show that as an hour block, right? However.
Yeah, of course. No. What I'm trying to say is currently. Let me show you. Screen. Actually, let me share my screen.
Sure.
Hold on, just a minute.
So Hussam, basically what he's saying is currently when you look at the calendar, you're seeing 1 hour blocks.
Right. Yeah. No, I think I get it.
Yes.
So he's saying, is it going to show one whole block, or are we making let's say 15-minute blocks.
No. Wait, what I'm saying is that there is some invalidity.
I think he's saying that we've already
Windows
decided that they're going to be 1 hour blocks, so he has created them in the database. Right now, he's saying that we're not going to make those blocks. We're going to let the student decide.
we should stop doing that. Yeah, we should not. We shouldn't, because actually we don't know. It could be 1 hour block. It could be
15 or 30, depending on the course.
We don't know when the block, when the time slot will start. We don't know. All this are dictated or done according to the student selection, according to the student.
Okay, I have one question for you guys on this. So if I wanted to delete 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., how would I do that? What do you think is the solution? Because if it's one whole block, how am I going to select 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. to delete?
I mean, you means are you a teacher or a student?
Admin.
You'll have to select those 4 blocks and delete them, right? 2:15 to 2:30, 2:30 to 2:45, 2:45 to 2:30. Those availability things, and delete that availability kind of thing. So, I think you've covered it.
Is this time slots already taken with the students, or these are empty? Or this like
empty. Let's say these are empty.
Empty. Okay. Empty means that there is no issue. Actually, we can use the same concept which we are using right now. Empty means is not an issue. Empty means is not an issue. Only if it has been taken by the student, then we have an issue. If it is an empty, there is no issue. So basically, like how we are creating the schedule, like I showed you last time, how we are actually overriding the schedule. We create some schedule right now on November 10th. Then after basically whatever 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Then later on, if you want to remove like 2 hour, 3 hour from the schedule, you can remove. You can remove it later on. That will override the calendar, and from that point onwards, that's those time slots will be removed basically. The only issue is if these time slots are taken already, means already enrolled by students and it's already paid or enrolled with the students. Then what to do? I think we discussed it already. You said that you are going to cover it in some of the
like we've also listed it. We've also reiterated it in this thing. You'll find it, inshallah. Once you go through the document, you'll find it.
Yeah. Just a minute. Let me go to the schedule. Okay. Yeah, actually, one more thing we have implemented in this release, you're going to see it. We also implemented the color coding. You wanted all the available time slots in green, students in red, and the enrolled students in orange. And as we have also implemented those color coding. So basically, what I was saying earlier was, so if you look at all these green time slots, actually based on teacher availability, we are automatically generating all these time slots automatically, right? Yeah, we should not do that now because we don't know if these will be 1 hour time slots. We don't know, right?
Yep. You're right.
Basically, we should not generate it, and we should just leave it same block of time. We can instead of showing like 1 hour time slot, we can show a block of time. I think we can show a block of time. Let's say on the Friday.
Or is it better to show by 15 minutes? If it's empty, show it by 15 minutes. If it's taken, then you show what's taken.
That also is possible, but yes, Mr. Tell me.
So the reason why I'm thinking is because, for example, if I want to move an availability from one day to the next, I think that there is no reason to complicate it. So if I want to move a student from today to tomorrow, okay, for example, so the student would already be, actually you're right. But the only question is, if I wanted to delete, let's say, if it's one whole block 9 to 5,
you can delete it. You can delete it easily. Like the last time I also showed it to you. Last time I showed it to you how you can delete the time slot. I showed it to you last time. If you want to make that interface a little bit simpler, we can also do that.
Well, just you know what? I'll let your team go through the requirements in more detail. And if you think that this is the simplest way, then go. Then inshallah that makes sense. I'm fine with that. It's just that there's this one part where we want to be able to select like 15-minute slots and like either delete, like okay, if you want to. So let's say the user just like so the teacher. Let's say the teacher creates his availability 9 to 5, right? And then he says, okay, you know what? Actually, 1:15 to 2 o'clock, I'm not available because I go for food or whatever. So we should be able to select those 1:15 to 2, 1:15 to.
Sure.
So
Sure.
if I personally, Brother, I'm not sure if you do, but I personally, if you want to show it as any continuous block or whatever, I don't personally have issues as long as.
No, I don't have issue as long as we have the. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Practical.
I think, in my opinion, with this new design,
yeah,
we should not generate automatically this 15 minutes.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Like,
that's fine.
look at it. If our requirements are met, then inshallah, like I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the reason why I'm interested in the deleting function is because it happens from time to time, especially if, for example, a teacher doesn't have student or a student, let's say a teacher. So especially with our female teachers, right? So for example, let's say they have a child who is coming back from school and they're working daytime. Okay, so now the mom has to do something when the child comes back from school at 3 p.m. and then mom has to go give the child food or something. So 3 to 4 p.m. sometimes what happens is in the middle of the year we have to change her slot, so she's not available at 3 to 4 p.m. anymore. So then what happens is we have to move some of her students to other slots and delete 3 to 4 p.m.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that becomes a practical thing. And then obviously sometimes we remove the slots altogether because the teacher is going on maternity. So there's a rule about that. So like, for example, we have one teacher who is going to give birth in 2 weeks from today or something like that. So next week we're trying to move all her students to another teacher, for example, and then block all her times as well, right? So, there are some technicalities that we explained in the document as well. Inshallah, I think it'd be good if your team kind of goes through it. And then,
Sure.
And then, so just so you know, the ideas there are not hard and fast. We're open to suggestions and changes. They're not like, this is how we want it, blah, blah, blah. No, this is just what we thought we could do. That's it. It's just.
Okay, alhamdulillah, I understood the requirement, inshallah. So we will come with some designs for it, and we will ask you any question if there is anything.
Yeah, sure.
But we will try to show you something, inshallah, if possible, in the next meeting, inshallah.
Okay, inshallah. Just so you know, before we move on, so inshallah, I would like you to review the document, inshallah, with your team, and then write any comments you have, like you do, sure. And then inshallah we can go through it. Inshallah, that's the idea. The next one I wanted to share with you is for you to kind of review. I started putting together a document called Course Manager. Just so you know, anytime you need to kind of access any of these documents, they're all here in a place called User Stories, in a directory called User Stories. On the chat, I put the link there, so you can save it there, and you can access all these documents there. And obviously, I keep linking them to Jira as well as we go, inshallah. But I just wanted to mention that I've started the work, the idea of Course Manager already, and inshallah, I'm going to continue to evolve that with Hussam's suggestions and inputs. We've had some discussion already. And we'll try to make it as if, as a way, like, how some of these online platforms work, where like WizIQ or something, someone can come create a course and then it generates even an URL ID, URL for the login page for the student and this and that, different things. We'll try to simplify it as much as we can, but we also want to make it a little bit user-friendly so that it hasn't, it works well for us from a database or backend perspective as well as the content perspective, inshallah. Anyway, that is all from me for now. Inshallah. I think Hussam, Brother Fairoz is on the call, so if you'd like to continue, if you'd like to have a discussion on the content, you can go ahead.
So anyways, I'll just conclude my thoughts on this.
Yeah, sorry.
So basically, go through the requirements, bro. And then let's talk about it tomorrow, because there are a few special cases, like a teacher's vacation, that needs to be handled in a special way. But since you haven't gone through the document, let's talk about it more inshallah tomorrow. And then we can have a bit like a more detailed discussions along any issues that you or concerns that you have.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Actually, we have a Pharaohs actually. Can we let him join the meeting?
I think he's already on the meeting, brother. He's already there.
He's already there. Right? Assalam, Pharaohs, are you there?
Wa alaikum assalam, I'm here.
So actually, you can show him what you have seen on that day. Actually, you showed me, right, on that day. Yes. Share your screen and show me a few things.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum, Feroz. How are you?
Feroz, are you able to see the screen actually?
No, nothing for now. Nothing shared.
Yeah, nothing for now. Actually, if you can actually click the box Hussam, you will see on the screen.
Now I can see. Yeah, now I can
see, right? Okay, and see actually all what he is showing to you, and he is going to give you certain points on that. Inshallah.
So, well, one of the first things, I'm going to open this in incognito.
Feroz, feel free to interrupt and ask Hussam whatever you want to.
So I'm not a front-end developer. So my advice, take it with a grain of salt. But inshallah, like one of the things that you notice is the fact that initially it's loading a lot of JavaScript files, and I think they're all coming from the same resource. What we did when we were making our project was that, so when we were doing the dev part, we definitely have them separately like that. But when we finally make the production or whatever release, we have a process in our grunt setup or whatever we're using where we combine all of them to one file, so that we don't have to load so many different JS files. But obviously, if you have different modules, I'm not sure how that works. So if that is something that you can look into, that would be great. Also, once I sign in, hopefully this is still working.
Feroz, as you can see, the first, why there are so many JS files and why it cannot be combined into one JS. That's the first question or concern. You can answer if you have any question, if you have any answer.
No.
Feroz, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello?
Yeah, sorry, we can hear you. Okay, so
told you something. So did you follow my question, Feroz?
I did not hear you. I think what was it?
Okay. So basically, the first concern or the question from Hussam was why it is loading so many JS files.
Okay.
Combined into one JS. That was a first question or concern. Do you want to address that or not?
Okay. See, these are some of the core JS files. Most of the are the core JS files of Angular, and some of the JS files, they belong to the application itself. Like say you can see the observable.js and the platform browser.js. All these are the JS files of Angular, and some of the JS files, they belong to our application. So here,
I realized I've realized that you will have many different JS files. It's just that do you use Grunt, or what do you use to finally like how are you like combining and making the final Angular? Sorry, I have my son with me. It's probably making confused. What do you use Grunt or some other kind of tool?
No, right now we are using Ant script to just generate the package for packaging it for now. But I think Angular does provide a way to combine this file, so I'll look into that. Inshallah.
Yes, exactly. It's just these. I mean, once you combine them, it's not like the size will decrease. It'll just be one file. But the thing is that the number of HTTP requests will go down. So we'll all get loaded once inshallah, and will be faster. So So it's fine. Like for dev, it's definitely fine because you want to know which JS file is throwing the issue. But once it goes into like prod or UAT environment, we definitely want to see it combined, inshallah, so that the faster loads. Anyway, so the second thing that I wanted to point out is that I loaded the profile page. Basically, I just did login and loaded the profile page, and I noticed that we call this method twice, which is the profile method. It's the same response.
This URL initially I added for debugging. For some time I kept it for debugging purpose. So I wanted to look into something.
Okay.
So, but in the if you look at the recent, if any new deployment has happened, I think only one request will go in. The request will not go twice now.
Brother Abdul Ahad, maybe you can answer that. And
basically, what it's trying to say is, it was there before and we removed it.
Wondering when was the last time you deployed? Okay.
About a week back. I did not deploy it recently. Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
Okay. And the last thing that I wanted to say was that so some of these calls that we make here, and this might be a bit controversial. You might not agree, and that's fine. If you don't think this is the best way to go about it, then just don't worry about anything I say. Just do what you think is best. So some of this data that we get in list form is static data to me, like the JST, all this data courses, all of this is static, and this doesn't need to change. So even if you refresh, we keep getting it again and again. And I was thinking that if we can put it inside our memory, the application, right? If you put it inside one of the session not the session storage, maybe the local storage or like application cache or any of these other places over here, like once you have them, then keep them there for the session, or like maybe, I don't know, maybe keep them for like a day or two, or if the APIs are designed in a way that you can ask for, like, hey, has there been any, then I think inshallah it will get a bit faster. Other than that, honestly, okay, inshallah, that's great. I don't have much, but I think inshallah if we are able to do these things, like combine them, I think you already minify them, so I don't think there's anything. You already minify obfuscate them, so that's fine. But yeah, if we can do these things, inshallah, I think it'll get a bit faster. And Brother Ahad, that's all I had regards to that. I don't have anything else to add.
Okay, alhamdulillah. You want to say again something? Eros, you want to make any
okay, I'll just look into the grunt thing for combining all the JS files, and I'll give my feedback.
I'm not sure if grunt does all that. We use it to do many different things. I'm not sure if it does all that. So I'm not a front-end developer. I can find out for you, but I'm not sure if it does all that. It may not be the solution that you're looking for.
Okay, just combining, right? So I'll see how we can combine, and I'll give my feedback to Abdullah. Inshallah, he will communicate.
Inshallah, sounds good.
Yeah. Like I see, I like what to see what the two main concerns or questions, comments from Brother Hussam. So many JS files are loaded. Is it possible to combine them to one?
Yes.
So that other time can be reduced. And then one more thing he pointed out is why so much on the local storage instead of that. Can it be cached or move it to somewhere else, like application level or something like that?
No, the second is like the static data that we keep requesting again and again can be stored in like an app.
Session or local.
Yeah.
Okay, inshallah. We're looking at both these issues, inshallah.
That's all from me.
Okay, alhamdulillah. Yeah, Feroz, you can.
Okay, I'll log off.
Yes, alhamdulillah. Yeah, Brother Hussam, you want to continue? You can continue. Or if you have if you have something to continue, you can continue.
You know what, honestly, regarding the course of inshallah, I think it would be more beneficial. Like, I think I've given you the main change was this introduction of this course thing and the way we schedule. So I think you should, like, if you spend some time thinking about how that affects it, and inshallah go through all the requirements,
sure.
then we can discuss the finer details when you're more well versed on it. And inshallah tomorrow we can discuss those details.
Inshallah. Yes, of course, we'll do that, inshallah.
Okay, I have a question from our marketing team. So this is a question. Basically, so you know how we have the login page on the, on this account creation page, we have email and password and then create account.
Correct.
The question is, can we implement similar fields on a, let's say on a home page, right? For example, and then like get it, I don't know, somehow, and then connect it to the backend in a way that students basically, you know, say, for example, we do something like get started right away. Like it's like a marketing call, right? Start right now. Just enter email, create a password, and boom, start, right? And then they come in and they say, okay, sign up. Come in. Then we ask them about you and all that.
Okay.
The question is, can we do stuff like that as well, or would we have to do something like, oh, click here to sign up, and then they come to the sign-in page, and then they input the information, and then they go from there. So that's a question that they had.
Yeah, actually, we can start right from there. This registration, if you want something like with a quick registration or something, you can come with some kind of quick registration or something. Like if you want to minimize these fields.
No, so basically
that's what the concern is. Yeah, actually,
you know, the fields we have are very minimal already, which is email and password, right? So the idea is, what if, like, you know, can we just have those fields, those two fields on a whiteboard? And then tell people, you know, so it's like a marketing page, right? Imagine it says, you know, start studying with a one-on-one private teacher from the comfort of your home. Start studying first week.
Right.
No payment required, you know, for the first class, blah, 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 you know, and then it says name, create password, and then start or something like that. Can we connect the same form to the backend in a way that it's all interconnected?
Sorry for this. Actually, I'm not able to hear you properly for 15 minutes. I can hear like few of you, half of your sentence I can hear and half I cannot hear. I cannot understand. So actually, what I understood so far is actually we have a registration page. Which this new user is going to register. After that, you want him to start joining the course immediately,
no.
Or actually start enrolling to the courses. What is that you want from them?
So imagine tanzil.org. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah, of course I can hear you now. Tanzil.org. Okay.
Okay, and then imagine there we have some content, some marketing content. Okay.
Okay, fine.
About the benefit of studying Quran and this and that, all that stuff. And then we tell the user, start your Quran journey today, right? And then so there are two options. One is we say, we give them a button, and then that button brings users to the current, you know, registration page where it says, okay, welcome to Tanzil, please create an account or sign in with your Gmail or Facebook to continue, you know?
Yeah.
So that's one way of doing it. The question they have is something else possible, which is to have an email address in the password field within the home page of the tanzil.org. Okay. And then you just click, okay, start now or sign up, right? Then automatically it takes them to the next step, which is, for example, the About You section.
Okay.
Not necessarily.
Okay. No, I got it. So basically, it's a kind of integration between your tanzil.org and what we are doing, kind of.
Yeah.
Like correct kind of integration between the tanzil.org and what we are doing. Correct? This is what you're talking about.
Yes, to the let's say the home page or marketing.
Of course, we can do that. Of course, we can give you a link. But the link has to be a secured link and blah blah blah. Yeah, we need to come with some certain link where you actually pass us few information what we need. So that's one way of doing it. One way of doing it is through HTTP post, but like a with like few information. If you actually pass on those information to us, then we can start can start from that page, from the About You page.
Okay.
It should be possible.
I just wanted to know because this is something that is useful for marketing because
Possible. We can do that. We can do that. Of course, we can do that.
Okay. It's not difficult or
Yeah,
long
actually, let
process,
us.
is it? Or is it?
Sorry. Sorry.
Hello?
Hello. I'm not able to hear
Can you
you.
hear me now?
Hear you.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, hello? Can you hear me,
Hello.
Hussam? Are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. Yeah. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. So all I was asking is it a difficult process or is it long? Or
No. It's not a difficult process. So actually, if I understand what you're asking is, there will be a small form for there will be a small form for a registration of the students, right?
yeah,
Actually, once the user actually fills in this form to register the student and actually hits some kind of button, submit whatever that button is, something he clicks, then it should automatically log into our application and then actually start from the About You section, right? That's what you're saying, right?
exactly. Yeah.
I think it should be possible. It should be possible, inshallah. I don't see any difficulty. The only thing is we need to come with a link and actually certain parameters for you to populate and invoke that link.
Okay.
That's it. You see, Brother Hussam, do you see any concern from the security point of view?
No. I think we're good, inshallah. I think we're good. I think my opinion is the same as yours.
Okay, fine,
We're good, inshallah.
Okay, fine, inshallah.
Okay.
Yes, brother, it can be done. You can add some task for us if you want for that. You can ask. You can add just some task for us. And is your team is ready to do that? Is your team at your Tanzil or
not yet. Not
is
yet.
they
Not yet.
okay? Whenever your team,
Yeah.
inshallah, we will do it for you. Keep that for you, inshallah.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Okay, Akhi. I think that's all for now. Is there anything else you want to discuss or?
No, alhamdulillah.
Okay. Okay, inshallah.
For my part, let me. Okay. Calendar document, and then come with some questions or understanding of it, and then we can discuss further from there.
Okay. All right.
Sounds good.
Okay, Hassan, Jazakallah khair. Sorry for keeping your son up this late.
Yeah,
No, he got up himself. He's back to sleep.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك استغفرك واتوب